Well, it's part 4 of my arcade build project and something very exciting has arrived. So let's get on with it. Roll titles! Welcome to the channel if it's your first time here, and welcome back if it's not. Now this is part 4 of my arcade machine build project, and if you've missed parts 1 to 3 then well, go back and check them out because they're actually quite good. But part 4 is the big one because the arcade machine flat pack kit is here and ready for me to build. Now there was a slight change from what I said in part 3 because I got this from a different supplier. I actually got this from a UK based company called BitCade. That was largely because they offered free shipping. The other supplier that I looked at, it all looked great, but when it came to checking out, yeah, the shipping price was quite a lot of money, which actually made the build sort of too expensive really. But yeah, the nice people at BitCade, they don't charge for shipping, which is awesome. So the actual machine itself cost about £300, and I paid a little bit extra to get the plexi plastic that will go over the control panel as well. I think that added £30-ish to the build. So yeah, this all came for around about £330 delivered, which I think is pretty good really. I will put a link in the video description to this actual kit so you can check them out yourself. But BitCade do actually make fully made, fully built, ready to go arcade machines as well as supplying these flat pack kits. So definitely go check them out. This isn't a sponsored video, but the links will be affiliate links, so you can help this channel out by buying your own arcade machine. It took about 2 or 3 weeks for this to get here from point of order, which is fine. I believe they are made to order as well, so that's pretty good. No real complaints so far. I mean, the TNT driver that delivered it was perhaps not as careful as he could have been, but I think this is actually relatively well packaged. If I stick my finger in one of the holes that he's created, I can feel some quite nicely bubble wrapped goodies in there. So hopefully all should be okay. Now this box is nearly 50 kilograms in weight, so I don't think I'm going to lug it all upstairs in one hit. I think I'm going to unpack it all downstairs and then carry it upstairs to the studio where we will build it. So I think rather than just you watching me getting hot and sweaty and shifting stuff around, we'll go up to the studio now where it'll all be ready and unpacked and good to go. So let's go upstairs. I didn't mean that in a dodgy way. I meant that's where the studio is. Well, that was all right, I guess. It wasn't too much of a problem to unbox it all, and something that's really hit me immediately is just how well packaged everything is. So every single piece is well wrapped in bubble wrap, and they've even made these little buffers at the end, which I think is really, really well designed. So considering the sort of slight kicking it got from TNT, I think everything's in really good order, so that is fantastic. That's a great start. This is a little bit different from my usual videos because I need a big space to film this, so that's why I've got things covered on 3 cameras. So I've got my A camera there, I've got my B camera up there, and I've got my C camera up there, and hopefully between all of them they will catch all of the action. And hopefully I'll try and remember to keep my butt this way rather than that way, because no one wants to see that. So included was this little bag. I don't know what's in the bag, I've not opened it yet. It feels like there's screws and fixings and stuff. Hopefully there's some instructions because I couldn't see any in the box. So we've got a bag of wood screws. We've got a bag of these sort of 90-degree angle adaptery guys. And then we've got these, I'd say maybe M5 bolts. I assume they're for mounting the monitor. So I guess what I should do now is quickly unwrap everything. Let's see what's what. But actually, this is a good time to have a look at the quality of the materials. Ha ha ha! Okay, well it's pretty clear what this bit is. This is our control panel. And yeah, it's a really nice, thick MDF. and it's got the line there, hope you can see that the T-moulding goes in. We'll talk about the T-moulding in a little bit. That doesn't actually come with this kit. I've had to order 30 feet of it separately, but I wanted some nice orange T-moulding because a lot of my stuff is orange and it's my favourite colour. Yeah, just got to slowly unpack everything and see if we find any instructions. But I am really impressed with the quality of the finish. The cuts on the wood are just so well done. Yeah, there's no chipping on the corners or anything like that, so that's really positive. I like to see that. Actually, something that I haven't mentioned yet is please do give this video a like. This project has cost a lot of money and I imagine will cost even more, so yeah, give it a like, push it out to a wider audience, and I think people are going to enjoy these videos. I think they're going to be quite interesting. Also, what's worth mentioning is, in this video, I'm not going to build the whole entire arcade machine in one hit. I'm going to put this kit together pretty much all the way, but then when it comes to wiring it and installing the monitor and everything else, I'm going to do that in separate videos. So it's definitely worth subscribing if you want to see this finished fully. Look, there we go, for our speakers. This is like the world's best bit of flat pack, isn't it? While Kip is removing the obscene amount of bubble wrap, why don't I tell you about the awesome people who've joined the channel. Now, joining the channel helps support it and means I can afford things like doing this arcade machine project. So the awesome channel members are the Kip fans, who are Matt Lovey's JRC Electrical, For the Burbs, Mark C and Wayne Cornish. Then we've got those incredible early birds who are Roberta Gross Subsum, Dean Ball, Sean at Cablesmith Electrical, Wayne's Retro World, Tim Salt, Sorcerer Stan and Adventure Rachel. Then we've got these lovely Kip lovers who are Bella Webster, Lawrence, StezStixFix and Richard Arblaster. And we've got our incredible Kip nutter here, who is Becky Boobar. Thank you so much for your support, but wait for it, here come those cannons, boom! We've got a Kip mental, and he is Ellis Garbutt, and he is wonderful. Thank you, Ellis, for your support, and big love to all the channel members. Anyway, on with the video. Yeah, that's everything unpacked, and there doesn't seem to be any instructions. I mean, I can probably work out how to do it, but I am going to just message BitCade and just double check. So far, so good. All the pieces look incredible. It's all very nicely made. So you can actually sort of see the profile of it there. Well, a bit of it anyway. And yeah, you get the general idea. Okay, well, I've spoken to BitCade, and basically the instructions are on their website. They are password protected, but they gave me the password, and I've been quickly browsing through those, and it recommends that if you're putting T-moulding on your machine, you should do it first. So now it's probably a good time to tell you what T-moulding is if you don't know. And basically, this is T-moulding, and it is a protective strip that goes around the edge of the arcade machine. Now, as I said earlier, I opted for orange because I think it'll look great on the black. And the idea is, say you take, for example, this speaker board, you take this and then you put it in the channel and then you just whack it into place. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I think I've got enough T-moulding to go right around the machine. I hope I have at least. But yeah, I've never actually installed T-moulding before. I used to own actual arcade machines, which I mentioned in part 1 of the series. And, you know, they all came with the T-moulding there. So, yeah, it's going to be a bit of an experience learning how to install it. But I think it should whack into place. And I think where we're going around curves and corners, I think it's a good idea to put a little nick and cut and chop out of it, so it makes slightly tighter bend. I think that's it from memory. I definitely want to have one continuous piece along the bottom of it because there's no wheels on this, so it will be sort of pulled out on the carpet, and having nice plastic strip will help reduce friction. So yeah, what I'll quickly do is I'm going to quickly install some of the T-moulding onto this speaker board and then cut to time lapse to do it on these side pieces, because I think it's going to take me a little while because, as I say, I've never done it before. But I've got a rubber mallet, got a plucky attitude, I'm sure this will be fine. But essentially the T-moulding is just here to protect the edges of the cabinet, especially when it's been moved around and, you know. Oh yeah, that goes in really nicely. Oh, that's nice. Now obviously T-moulding comes in all different colours, and you can even get like really jazzy silver T-moulding, which I thought looked a bit gross, but you know. There'll be people out there who don't really rate orange T-moulding. The falls. Yeah, I'm proper pleased with that. That's turned out really nice. There's just these little, the grooves for the T-moulding on all the parts that are seen by the sort of outside world, I guess. So yeah, what I've got to do now is actually do that all the way round. So I'll do it over time lapse. I might cut in if there's any sort of interesting bits to show you, but so it'll be a case of just going right around the edges and then getting the machine built. Okay, so just showing you what I'm doing on one of the corners. So I've just sort of cut out this kind of triangular shape here. I'll just start tapping it in. Goes around the corner. We can carry on going up. That was pretty hard going, but I did actually enjoy it. It's actually quite therapeutic to do. I'm really pleased with how it looks. The edging just really finishes it off nicely. I've got to do the whole thing again on that other panel, but I'm not going to bother time-lapsing it because it's just the same thing, but in a slightly opposite direction. So I'll be back in a second when both panels are T-moulded up. Well, that is all done, and I've got this amount of T-moulding left. So 30 foot is pretty much bang on. But yeah, this is me being extremely sparing. So if you're worried about messing it up, I'd maybe order a few feet more. But anyway, so the next part of it is actually putting the machine together. And we're going to be using these little guys that came in the pack. And if I swap to my overhead camera, we have got the speaker panel, we've got the game control panel, and then we've got the top of the machine. And they all have 4 of these blocks on each, which pretty simple and straightforward. Now what I'll do is I'm going to come a little bit closer and show you how these blocks work, because you can't really see from that distance, or this distance really. Okay, so we've got these blocks here, and they've got 1 hole going through them that way and 2 holes going through them this way. And then at the top here, can you see it's slightly beveled in, and that's where the screw head goes. And then similarly here on the side with the 2 holes, we've got these slightly beveled edges for the screw holes. So the way these go on the edge of the board is you've got the hole with the bevel on the top, and that's, you're going to put 1 screw in and screw down into the wood. And then on the edge here, you've got the 2 flat holes, and the screws will be coming through from that way eventually. But yeah, at the moment we're just putting the screws down into the top hole. Yeah, that's how it's all working. But actually, while I've got you at a closer angle, you can just see how nice the T-moulding is. The edging just looks incredible. It is so good. I'm really, really proud of that. So yeah, now I've just got to whiz in all 12 of those guys and just ensure that the edges are completely flush and obviously in the screw holes that are provided already. So I'm going to quickly whiz those in. I'll do it on time lapse because it's just me screwing a lot of holes. Now I'm using my electric drill screwdriver guide to put these in. I've got it on a relatively low torque setting just so it doesn't just destroy everything, because this is actually quite powerful. Right, okay, well that is all done, and yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory really. You've just got all these blocks around. But now we're starting on actually building the machine itself. And first of all, we've got the front panel, and then we've got one of the side panels. It's really important to get the front panel the right way round, because if you get it the wrong way round, the bottom of the front panel overhangs slightly. I'll show you in a bit more detail shortly. But once again, I'm going to just time lapse it because it's just a lot of drilling really. Okay, so this is what I was talking about the bottom piece, is you can see that it's completely flush with the base of the cabinet, but if you have it the wrong way around, it's not at all. Now what I've actually done is I put one screw in this end, and then I'm going to put one screw in this end, and it should make sure the whole thing is straight. Now I'm just test fitting the control panel under and the control panel front, and it all seems to be lining up with the holes. It's just really handy just to sort of take your time and not rush it, and just sort of go with the flow and just check everything before you screw everything down. I mean, because it is screwed down, then you can fix mistakes, but it's easier to avoid making them in the first place. It's the next day, and it just takes so long to build and film, but I'm back on it, and hopefully we'll get this all finished up pretty quickly. He says hopefully. You might have spotted that I'm wearing my StezStixFix Captain Bodge merch. Go and check out Stez if you don't already, although Stez mentioned me recently in one of his videos and I had a massive influx of new followers, so hello new followers. And if you don't go and watch Steve already, then go and check him out, he's awesome. And also give this video a like, I would really appreciate it. So yeah, I think what we've got to do is put the control panel piece in position, then the speaker, and then the top, and then we do the bass. And again, it's mostly just sort of screwing these little blocks down. I'm not too sure if I want to put the control panel in. Obviously I'm going to have to wire it at some point very soon, and I don't really want to wire it up now. So I'm wondering if I put it in and then lightly undo the screws so I can actually access them and unscrew them from inside. Now the only problem is going to be this section here. It is going to be very, very tight once you can't access it from all angles. So yeah, when I come and put the second side piece on, I think it's going to be quite tricky. But you know, we'll see how it goes. But anyway, I'm just going to quickly carry on and put the pieces in. So we'll do control panel, speaker panel, top, and then bottom, and then I think it comes to putting it all together, I think. Anyway, let's crack on. Actually, something that's important here when we're screwing in the speaker panel is we've got these grooves for the marquee to slide into. So you have to make sure it's all lined up nicely so the marquee can fit in well. starting to look really quite awesome. I'm very excited. So now we've got to do the bottom piece. Okay, so I'm pretty much ready to put the side panel on top. Now it does tell you to put the marquee in. I want to design some artwork for it and I don't really want to put it in. I suppose if I just slip it in I can take the top off and take it out, and also that will help line these pieces up with that in position, so maybe I will. I might leave the plastic that goes over where the screen is off for now because I've not really thought much about that. So yeah, let's get the plastic in for the marquee. Let's put that on top of this. Now, there's not really going to be too much to see because I'm mostly going to be working inside the machine from then and just basically putting in a lot of screws going up, so I might just jump cut. Oh my goodness, it looks like an arcade machine now and I'm really happy. What's left to do? Well, we've got to put this piece in, which I believe goes at the base. This isn't actually referenced in the instructions, but I guess we'll be feeding the power in through that hole there. So I think I'm going to put that in. Now, as for actually building the rest of it, there's not all that much really that I can do at this stage. Once I put this bit in, it's a case of putting the back covers on and also the monitor mounting plate. But until I start doing the wiring and things like that, which will follow in a subsequent video, yeah, there's just no point in me putting them on because I'm going to have to put them on and then take them off again. But yeah, I really feel like I'm nearly there. Well, for the build at least. There's a whole lot more to do. There's binding some speakers to go in there. I've not really thought about that. There's lighting the marquee. That used to be done with old school fluorescent tubes, but obviously they're a bit old hat now and whatnot, so I've got to think of some kind of LED lighting for there. And then I've got to put the coin door in the front, I've got to put the controls in, so there is a lot more to do. This project will be split over many parts, so you know, make sure you're subscribed. But actually, let me just show you what it looks like inside, just so you can get an idea. Okay, so here's the bit where the top of the cabinet is and the marquee is, and the speaker bit. You can see all the blocks that I've had to screw in and the number of screws I've had to do. Now this bit was hard, as I suspected. This is the control panel area. But all I'll have to do to pop the control panel out is take out 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, and then it will just lift out and these blocks will just stay in place. I just want to get on with it, so let's get this mounted. Yeah, something I've got to work on is the sort of powering elements, because there's going to have to be some power to the monitor, there's going to have to be some power to the lighting, so I'm going to have to run some cables as well as the power for the arcade boards and everything like that. And also something I've really got to think about is how and where I'm going to mount arcade boards and where I'm going to mount the Raspberry Pi as well. Because there's not actually masses of room in here. It's not as cavernous as old arcade machines used to be, because if you think about an old arcade machine, they used to have the massive cathode ray tube TVs in, which great because they need a lot of space, but if I do build a second arcade machine, I might go down the cathode ray tube path. Who knows? Got to get this one built first. Oh my God, look at it, it's done. Well, a fair portion of it is done, shall we say. I've really enjoyed building this. Now, this isn't a sponsored video at all, but the kit is actually fantastic. I've been really impressed by it. It's all pretty straightforward to put together. You could have probably done it without the instructions, but those kind of just help you with the finer details. And oh man, it is just so good. So what's coming up? Well, a lot, everything really that goes inside here. I've got some actual arcade boards to use to actually test it and make sure that side of it works. And then we've got to work out how to get our signal from our Raspberry Pi into the video and controls and everything like that. We've got to think about how we're going to wire it. We're going to have to put a coin door in because I want it to have a proper coin door. So there's just so much to do, and there's going to be so many parts, and I can't wait for you to share this journey with me. So I think for now, that'll be it. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, but for now, it's game over.